All right, Steph, we are in 10-5A Division One, which is primarily Houston ISD. We'll throw a couple other teams in there, but one of the teams that we throw in there is Galena Park, who's got the returning Offensive Player of the Year behind center, and they made a playoff spot last year. I guess before we get into Houston ISD, let's talk a little bit about the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, Spiro Amarantos has done a great job with that program. You know, Galena Park doesn't have the sheer physical talent that their brothers from North Shore have in Galena Park ISD, but they do have a system they believe in. They drill it into they run it well. They drill it into their kids from the junior high level on up, and they've got an identity and they buy into it. They are going to run the football. They are going to run it, and run it some more. You know, they're not going to put it up very much. They are going to be brutally effective with the running game. And when you've got a guy like Kerry Clay, who ran for 22 touchdowns last year, 1,400 yards, and their quarterback, Kendall Combs, is back as well. And Combs, the thing about Combs, he doesn't throw it much, but when he does throw it, he's usually got guys running wide open, and they're very explosive when they do put the ball up. But Kerry Clay is a fun running back to watch. He's not very big. He's only about 5'5", 5'6". So he hides behind those big offensive linemen. He's got great speed. He's a tough guy to bring down. And they do a great job in this district. And I think Galena Park opens the year probably as one of the co-favorites in 10-5A Division I, along with, I think, Houston Sterling, who, in my opinion, has been pretty much the most consistent Houston ISD 5A program in recent years. Gary Jesse's done a great job with that program. The Raiders bring back 13 starters from a bi-district playoff team. They've got some guys, you know, the athlete Hatton, Jason Hatton. I was trying to figure out his first name, but he's a guy who's versatile. He had 8 touchdowns rushing last year. I think they're going to move him around quite a bit to get some things going. They do have to replace a few skill players, but Sterling brings back a lot of guys in the offensive line, and their linebacker, Jacob Booth, a really good player. And they've got a corner in the Lucas kid, Christopher Lucas, who I think hit 5 interceptions last year. He's a guy who's going to make a lot of plays for Houston Sterling. So I expect them to challenge Galena Park for that 1-2 spot.
Now, how far back is Waltrip? Are they a distant third? Because I love that combination of Kavion West and Norris. They're the quarterback receiver duo there. Where do you find Waltrip in this joint?
Yeah, you're right. West had 13 touchdowns passing, 12 touchdowns rushing. Norris had 7 touchdowns receiving. So they've got a good running back as well. The Gamble kid, Zion Gamble, I like him a lot. And the other thing about Waltrip that I think gives them some hope I do think they're the number 3 team, but I think that gap is not very wide. Yeah. They're in their second year under head coach Chris O'Neill, so they're going to get a full offseason and kind of a little stability there for the Rams. So I think those 3 are clearly your top 3 teams in the district. I think there's a gap after that. And I think the battle, once again, for that 4 spot is going to be really intriguing. Milby got it last year. It was their first playoff appearance in forever. Shout out to Coach Puente and those guys. Their first playoff appearance since 2000. They've slowly gotten better year after year. They broke through last year and got to the playoffs. I think they're going to be in the mix, but I think they're going to have a hard time. Westbury brings back a lot of guys from last year. They have numbers. They were a 6A program most recently. They just dropped down. They're going to be in the mix. I like Westbury with their 14 returning starters. They had a 7-3 JV squad last year, so you got to think good things are coming there. Houston Madison brings back 15 starters and Coach Soria's second year, so you expect them to take a step forward. And if you're looking for a team to dream on to maybe make a big leap forward, Houston Austin, I think, could be one of the most improved teams in the Houston ISD this year. They bring back 20 starters under second-year head coach Stephen Wiggins. They were 1-9 last year, near the bottom of the district standings, but they bring back 20 starters, 11 on offense, 9 on defense. I expect the Mustangs. I don't think they'll challenge for a playoff spot, but I do think they'll be a lot more competitive in one of the most improved teams there in Houston ISD.
Pick up a couple wins there because I know they went winless in the district play. That leaves us with Spring Woods, who I was jumping on. I thought for sure they might make a spot there in Sharpstown, but I thought Spring Woods' best chance was last year, and they kind of missed out there by a game or 2.
Yeah, Coach Roars enters his second year, so I think you'll get some stability from a second-year head coach. They lost a good senior class. They got 3 wins last year overall, which for them is very good. That helps 3 district wins. But they're going to have to, I think, change their style of play and really rely heavily on kind of a ball control attack. Sharpstown made some real strides last year that they had been struggling for a while and made some strides under Coach Earl Westbrooks, but Coach Westbrooks is gone. He's no longer the head coach there. They're still searching for a head coach. So it's going to be very interesting to see if that team will stay together. They only lost 5 players. They have 22 lettermen returning. They only graduated 5 seniors. So I think if they'd have kept that continuity, they would have been a sleeper team for a playoff pick. But with the coaching change and a lot of instability, a lot of uncertainty there surrounding the Apollos heading into the summer camp season.
Yeah, the key thing for a district like this, which is mostly Houston ISD, you got to find one team that's got 2 or 3 really good linemen, good in the trenches, so you don't keep the athletes out there running for their lives all the time. If you can hold it down in the trenches for 3-4 seconds, you might be able to make some plays here and get some W's. And you talked about Galena Park. Anybody else you look at there that may have something going on in the trenches besides? I mean, we have a lot of guys bringing guys back, so they may have learned that trench scheme.
I do think I think Westbury is going to have some guys in the trenches that can do some damage just with the experience they have coming back. I do like Milby. They've got a defensive tackle, Aaron Anderson, who I think is a really good player. Kind of in the middle of that defense there. So you got to, and then Waltrip's always got some big guys. Chris Grisham, their defensive tackle, is a guy to keep an eye on as well there for the Waltrip Rams. So I think everybody's got at least a couple of guys that are potentially guys who can really make some noise in the trenches there for those Houston ISD ball clubs.
All right, let's finish this up by you give me your 1 through 9. And we're sticking to it in May all the way to October.
That's right. So we're going to go Sterling 1 this year, Galena Park 2, Waltrip 3, Westbury 4, Milby 5, Madison 6. We're going to go Sharpstown. We'll go Austin 7, Sharpstown 8, and Springwoods rounding it out at number 9.
Springwoods taking a drop. I got you. And which one of these teams is going to win a playoff game? Hit me with the none.
Not this year.
Not this year.
I called it last year with Walt Worthy.
I was going to say, didn't they get inspired from their Division II brothers?
Those round 1 matchups are going to be real tough.
Yeah,
real tough.
I can dig it. Speaking about tough, we'll talk about that next week in 11-5A, where the Houston area did quite well in the postseason. So we will talk that next week.